Hey, I'm Rob, and welcome back to my garage. Um, so I'll do this while I'm in a good mood. Just look at this. You can't make this up. I just pulled this, obviously. Obviously, just pulled it, right? And look at it, man. Just look at it. Let's see. I bet you that stuff doesn't come off. Yep. Oh, yeah, bro. 1,000 miles. How does that happen? Well, as you can see by the sludge pulled up at the bottom, this is what happens when you don't change the coolant and you don't mix the coolant properly when you reinstall the engine. Obviously, the system was never flushed out until I flushed it out a couple months ago, and I topped it off with distilled water. And there's a very good reason to use distilled water with nothing in it, and especially for an engine like this, it's prone to this type of corrosion. You want to use distilled because it doesn't have any minerals in it and it won't conduct electricity as easily. And funny thing enough, this engine has a problem with electrolytic corrosion. If we look in here, unfortunately we can't see very well because of the light, but obviously something is leaking there. We got some oil, and as you can see from the poop stain, we got a poop stain here. And we got a big poop stain here. And we got oil around that bottom gasket. That's probably where the two halves join, seeing as how there's a poop stain all the way around the engine. So there's that. I don't think I uploaded my last video. Sorry for not updating this. But 3 of these valves were way out of tolerance. This inlet valve is super tight. It's way under at just 8 thou clearance, or not 8 thou, 0.008 millimeter or something like that, or 0.08 millimeter, I forget, 0.008. This bucket is screwed up, you can see in there. Oh gosh, it's not gonna, there's no way it's gonna, oh, that always works. There we go. You see that bucket's all scored up. I didn't see any other scored up buckets, but obviously that wasn't noted during the rebuild. There's nothing I could have done that would have done that. Let's see, the other thing that screwed up, oh yeah, these 2, I believe, exhaust valves were way out of tolerance loose. Or actually, maybe it was the ones that were making noise. I mean, not making noise, the ones without the without the bolts, without the studs in there. That's probably the one that was making noise. I forget, but either way out of tolerance. It explains all the noise that the engine was making. And as you can see, just poo all over the block, man. Going back around, continuing our tour of this screwed up block. See more poop stain. It's probably that gasket that connects the main bearings to the, or whatever, the bottom half of the block to the top half of the block. I think they didn't seal that up good. And this Viton seal is screwed up. There's a nick in it, which, hey, 40 bucks isn't a big deal right now if they don't pay for it, which I hope they do. They should. Well, obviously this isn't a good company. A good company will refund you if something horrific like this happens, because sometimes they get a new guy or they get an asshole in there that doesn't care. Either way, oh yeah, obviously they never pulled this. They're just, yeah. It's the feed for the turbo, which I'm sure is all full of crap, so even though the guy paid for a new turbo, I'm sure this turbo needs the journals rebuilt in it, which kind of sucks. I did notice a bit more shift play. And over here we got the oil pump. Anybody who's watching for any more information on this engine, you can click off now, because I'm just showing what's going on. Got this is coming along slowly, but it is coming. Starting to get a sheen on some parts. Just cost me $1. Still ain't out of sandpaper. I went down to the dollar store and bought some. But yeah, slowly getting there since I ain't got my grinder and my polish and stuff, or any die grinders or nothing to get in there. I'm gonna look at cutting down on some of this this casting stuff and some of these support webs. I gotta find out how much it's all gonna weigh. I don't actually think any of this is even necessary with the stock configuration. I think that they were just kind of worrying. But yeah, it's coming along. I haven't started on this. I just cleaned the oil off of it, and not even all of it. Pretty much everything you see over there, minus the oil pump, is not going back on the motor. Obviously I can't reuse this water pump. I doubt I'm going to be able to get a water pump out of them. But yeah, I can't use that for sure. You shouldn't. Definitely shouldn't use a water pump that looks like that. Yeah, and obviously lots of oil on the crank pulley, which I gotta get a fluid damper, and I gotta get a gear, and I gotta start playing around and figure out how I'm gonna bolt the accessories back on. So I think I'm going serpentine if I'm lucky. Might be one V-belt for the air conditioning, and then the rest is serpentine. I want to move the I really want to move the alternator down onto the hot side. I know that's not a good idea, but we'll see. But yeah, she's pretty abysmal. Some of anything that's not new is trash, and you know, some of the new stuff is trashed. And got to take care of stuff like this. This thing's horrible. Got to press in a new fitting. So we'll see. I really would like to get permission to swap this out for like a Toyota 4-cylinder or a Honda 4-cylinder, just because of the power and the response that you can get. This would be a nice engine to just slowly build, polish up, and you know, sure, build it to the hill, build it for 500, 600, 800 horse, but just kind of leave it on the stand and then drive the car. I know years ago I would have laughed at that, but I tell you what, this engine here is worth like $5,000. Toyota 4-banger in the same size is worth $200. So you tell me. You want to ruin your $200 engine, or you want to ruin your $5,000 engine? Well, that's enough rambling. Got the bike. At least we got the bike. And got the Golf. Take the bike. But anyways, farewell.